In this video, I'm going to show you how I filled out my TurboTax 1040 return to report a child's unearned income. I'm going to show you in more detail what all these boxes are about, but basically it involves setting up or using a Schedule C business owned by the parents on their tax return to pay the child, and the child would fund a Roth IRA, and it would require a single filing of a child's tax return. You could do more, but in general it could involve single filing a child's tax return with one time, and it could involve having the grandparents be the customer of the parent's business and using the grandchild to perform services for the grandparents if you don't already have a Schedule C company. Unearned income is required for you to be able to make contributions to a child's Roth IRA. So the general scope of this video will be how I filled this out as a non-tax professional. If you could, I'd appreciate you like this video, not because it's got great production. It's just rewarding me for spending the time on the content to document it, and in turn I'll probably be motivated to do more of this. But what we're going to be doing is declaring this $4,500 here as income that the parent paid the child, the parent's business paid the child. And then, just as a consequence of having the money already in another account, we're going to cash in. We're reporting income from another account that we had and cashed in, and we're also reporting capital gains from another account we cashed in. If you're wondering where the form is for this $4,500, TurboTax generates a worksheet for the $4,500 of IRA contribution, but it only requires that we report earned income here on this form, and there is no separate form for a Roth IRA contribution as long as we have this $4,500. This $4,500 for household employee wages is really important because we don't want it to be taxed as Social Security income, self-employment income. So it's important to get it on this particular field. You can also see that because of the standard deduction, we generate very little taxable income, and therefore the tax liability on this form is almost nothing. Next, we're going to go over the general outline of why we're doing this. We're also going to go into the individual fields on TurboTax, and I'll show you how to do that. We generally change the view to step-by-step to get to the other stages that I need to show you. So now we're in step-by-step mode, and we're going to enter the child's information. This is no dependents, and that should be fairly self-explanatory. Just go to personal and go to, I'll choose what I want to work on with your capital gains using the import feature. But if you've got it in a brokerage account, which I had the funds under a Social Security number, the child Social Security number, and it generated investment income. So the next category of income that you're going to have to be concerned about is you need to go to here and click the other income. You want to declare it as other wages. and then you want to declare how much income it was that the parents paid the child. You hit that there, and then did you earn any other wages? No. Okay. And that's pretty much that part. The next thing that you're going to want to do is go into deductions and go down to the Roth IRA contributions. Now, if you were to make a different kind of if you were going to make a deductible contribution, you should do it, but we're dealing with child, so we're going to do a Roth IRA. And then we're going to click that for Roth IRA. Is this, and we say no, and then we say what the amount is, and then we say no here, and then did you open before? No. And then that's pretty much it for what you need to do. Now we're looking at the parent's return. It's under business, and continue, and then choose what I want to work on. And this is the parent's return, and if you could remember to hit the like button on this video, that will help me out. So this is the parents' Schedule C business return. Now, some of the parents already have this return section already done. Now, some of you have an accountant that's doing this, and perhaps you'll want to look up, and maybe you're going to want to fill out your own Schedule C and start doing TurboTax for this. But anyway, we're going to hit update, and then this is where you put in your business name or LLC. You don't need a employer identification number, but you can easily get one from the IRS. This is where you enter all your business information. If you have an LLC number, and then what we're interested in though is to do this business income. Now, this is the income that the grandparents possibly have paid you to employ your child, or your business. You've paid your child from your business, so you're going to have to use this general income area, and you're going to put down payment for services for your business. Basically, this is the income you're taking in from your business, so you can go and pay your child the money. So this generally will be greater than the amount that you're going to be paying your child. Okay. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to generate. We have to go and declare expenses, right? So we're going to go back. We're going to go to business expenses, other common expenses, and then we're going to enter contract labor right here. And so these are fees paid to independent contractors. We're going to go ahead and list down payment to Milo or Johnny, a certain amount. And that's basically all that you need on your Schedule C to flow the money through your business and get a deduction for it. So in theory, you could even zero it out. And then that money is going to go to your child, and I already showed you on the child tax return. So this isn't something that I came up with. Paul Merriman actually started me looking at this, but what we've got here is a grandparent decides to fund a child's IRA when they're first born. And so, but they can't work, when they're first born. So we have to just hold it into an intermediate account, and we hold it in some index funds. And those index funds are held in a custodial account that has the child's Social Security number on it. then the child becomes a working age, then we need to liquidate the account, and we declare that as support, to support the child. But those funds could, find their way some way. I don't know how you could figure it out, but the funds could eventually find its way to where it could be payment to the child. But what happens is when you liquidate the custodial account, it generates gain, which I've already showed you on the child's return. We had, I believe, Schedule D gain, and then it could generate some income. So that basically flows to the child's 1040 return, which we've already gone over. But the grandparents then, in this setup with the Roth IRA, will pay the child money via the parents' business. So the parents will collect the money from the grandparents, and the child will, of course, be doing some sort of work for the grandparents. And then this is assuming that the parents don't already have a business where they can employ the child directly. What about this? If you've got a business that you employ the child directly, you don't have to worry about any of this. But the child could work for the grandparents and then funnel it through the parents' business. The parents have to then file a 1040 return with Schedule C, which I've already showed you. And then the child's pay is categorized as other expense, which I've already showed you. And then we have a situation where we can then form a Roth IRA with Fidelity, invest in index funds, and then we have a situation where we don't necessarily have to tell the child that they have money there in this account, just compounding tax-free. We would, since it's not taxable as a Roth IRA, we don't necessarily have to tell the child. We could have the parents tell them when the child gets old enough that they believe, they're responsible enough, and then basically just compounds tax-free until the child gets, say, whatever age that you want to tell the child that they've got the money. So on the Fidelity website, there's a way to set up a Roth IRA for kids, and you have to set up you have to hit this open account button. And where I found that was, you go to Fidelity, and then there's like an open an account tab. You click on that, and then you go to the most popular, and that's one of the options. There's an option on custodial account there, and that shows the custodial account. Now we're gonna go into, of course, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a regular guy that's been looking stuff up on the internet, but generally speaking, these custodial accounts, sometimes they time out at 25. But with a custodial account, you may have to file a tax return. So I would just keep it, I think it works best to keep it a secret, and don't ever tell your child about any of this money until you want them to have it. So the guy that kind of came up with a lot of this idea is just starting out, putting money in a child's Roth IRA account. This guy is so smart, and he has a team of people that work with him, and he talks about using the Roth IRA for legacy. So this is a very good video for you to watch. There's another guy here that goes into it a little bit more tax-wise. You might want to look here also what he has to say. And he goes into whether you should do a W-2 for your child in the business, and whether or not to do a W-2. And I've just chosen not to do it, but this guy is a tax lawyer and a CPA, and on this side of things, he seems to be a pretty, he's kind of on the aggressive side, but he's a pretty good guy. And I guess on the investment side, Paul Merriman is the best. And I use him for all my investing advice.